I don't usually do this, so as longtime listeners know, I'm not a big consumer of right-wing hate grievance radio. I try to stay away from it because it's just a bunch of old white people complaining a lot. But today I happened to be in the car during the time when Rush Limbaugh would be on. And I just want to remind everybody, Rush Limbaugh is dead. But they keep trying to bring him back from the grave. And this was the really interesting thing, because today what caught my attention is the local right-wing mouthpiece in my neck of the woods got his big dance chance and audition to sit in the Limbaugh chair. So you had Tokyo Teddy Matthews show up in the EIB network, doing the water boy thing. Got to give it a shot. Got nobody else. So he did a Milli Vanilli imitation. Because look, this is what's funny about this. I watch these guys, and I've been watching these right-wing guys for years. And I've gone to the conventions and I've gone to the conferences, and I hate to admit it, I really do, but I've met most of these people, had conversations with lots of them. And very few of them, to their core, believe the stuff that they're spewing. It's about the sale. It's about making money. And every one of them have their gimmick. And this is the part where I'm enjoying this weird moment in the salesman pitch. Because like I talked about the other day, you had Glenn Beck going on this really personal story about a brother-in-law who passed. And how he cared for the lawn, and he did all this stuff at the church, and then by the way, now's a good time to talk about lawn tractors. And I'm going, wait a second, how did you get from heart-wrenching, touching moment to buy my stuff? This is right-wing radio. All of the grievance, all of the hate, that's all fabricated. That's to get you to tune in and stay tuned in. So our little Milli Vanilli kid showed up on the EIB today. Complete with all of the script, because you could hear the reading going on. And then this was the masterful part. It was incredible. He would do the little scripted routine, and then now what would Rush have to say? And they would bring out this weird 5-minute clip of Limbaugh saying, well, back in 2013, here's what Rush had to say. I'm going, did I miss something? Is this the audition to see how well you play with the ghost of Rush? And if he comes back from the grave and gives you the cigar, I don't know. But as I'm listening to it, it's all just so badly scripted. And right now what's going on, if you don't know, right-wing grievance radio, the hate mongers are really ticked off at corporate America for saying that black people should be allowed to vote. That's the bottom line in this. So they're now pretending like, now we're going to go and we're going to hold those corporations accountable. Those corporations who have funded every activity that we've ever done, who have funded the American Legislative Exchange Council and funded all of the think tanks that we get all of our prep information from, funded our stations, funded all of our crappy books and all of our events. Those corporations now, so we can look like we care about working people. Now we're going to say something. So what it was this weird kind of the fascists talking about how bad fascism is. These are the people who have been at the hip of corporate America for decades. And now they've gone too far. They actually say that black people should be allowed to vote. Can't do that. That's, again, bridge too far. Now, what I find interesting, again, is it goes back to the ghost of Rush. And I couldn't get this out of my head, because one of the first Talkers Magazine conventions gave an award to Rush, the free speecher of the year or whatever it is. And he came in and he gave his spiel, and it wasn't what people wanted to hear. He was talking about the sale. It's not about what goes on the radio. It's about keeping whatever you can do to keep them locked in so that you can make the pitch. You can sell the snake oil. You can sell the beet juice. You can sell the vitamins. You can sell the lawnmower off of your dead brother-in-law. It was all about the sale. And now you've got Tokyo Teddy doing the scripted thing, saying corporations are bad. We're with you, working people. We now understand what you're talking about. We now get it. We've now come. And I say, good. We've been waiting for you. Because we've been in this place that, corporations are not the answer for decades. You don't get to be Johnny come lately and say, oh, now we care because, well, we can't have black people voting. It's crazy. And the thing is, and I go back to these moments in meeting these people and having conversations with them where virtually all of them are just looking for a job. These are people who couldn't really do anything else. So this was where they got into. They were old radio DJs who couldn't do DJ anymore, so they became talkers. And look, there's some value in that work, but like anybody, kind of lazy. And I've said this before, the right wing does a masterful job of coordinating messages. So it's not surprising that when you turn from one show to another, there is a pre-programmed list of talking points that they all follow. And they all go right down the list, and it's all scripted, it's all political theater, and it's all made focus group tested, think tank approved, to keep you angry and keep you listening. It's been in place for years for people to go and to complain about how bad their lives have been and how they haven't turned out the way they thought they were when they were fifth graders. And this is where they get to go and blame big government and blame the poor and blame those people, not themselves, while talking about personal responsibility and pulling yourself up by the bootstraps. It's insane. Now they're going after corporations. And I'm like, good, I'm glad to have you here. Now let's actually do something. This is the part that I find really important. It's one thing to out of the side of your mouth say, corporations are bad, look how bad they're big, we're going to boycott them, we're going to do something. Bad enough to do that. And good, please, have at it. How about actually doing something, I don't know, to actually hold them accountable? For instance, 1953, the top corporate tax rate in this country, 56%. How about we say, hey, corporate America, you got a little too big for your britches, a little too big. We're going to start taxing you like we used to in the old days, when we could pay for our roads and our bridges, and we could pay for education, we could pay for healthcare, and we could pay for our wars. Yes, I know the right loves their wars. We could do all that stuff because corporate America was paying their share. But the Limbaughs of the world and the capitalists over there who proudly tell you that they're capitalists, but they're anti-corporation now. You figure it out. I can't. You really want to hit them? You want to hurt them? Tax them. Use that money for the common good. Use that money to rebuild our infrastructure. Use that money to help seniors, help our kids get an education. Use it better than enriching the handful at the expense of the rest of us. Also, since we're now talking about corporations because you think it's a shame that they want black people to vote, how about we start talking about corporations really do, the treatment of their workforce? Oh, I know you're not going to talk about that. How about we talk about getting workers the right to organize? How about we talk about all of the times you've gone and complained about those job-killing regulations when people are less safe on the job? You want to be the party of the working class? You want to be the voice of workers? Here's a good place to start. How about helping them? Instead of just going, well, I'm mad at corporations for letting those black people vote. How about actually doing something that matters? 73% of the people in this country polled recently by Politico and Morning Consult said they believe in collective bargaining, that workers should have the right to collective bargains. Don't you think that'd be a good place to start? How about we take your anger against corporate America and go, you know what? We should empower workers. That'll show those corporations. Balance the power in the workplace. You're never going to do that because then you won't be able to sell your soda machines and your fizzle bottles and your pillows and all the other crap that you hawk off. It's all about the sale. Remember that, right-wing mouthpiece. You can go so far, they're going to rein you back in. It's about the sale. You're snake oil salesman. It's that simple. And I come back to, I've met so many of these folks. And when I see these auditions of all these people who want to be the next Rush Limbaugh, and they're auditioning of a bunch of them because the guy that they had chosen, I guess, Dan Bongingo or whatever his name is, he ain't working out. Just not happening from what I've been hearing. So they're auditioning people from all over the place. We got to get somebody who plays nice with the ghost of Rush, and we can play clips around. And our Tokyo Teddy here is probably not a bad guy for it. He can read a script. He can deliver a talking point as well as anyone. He's been doing it here in the local area for a couple of years now. He's gotten his chops. A lot better than he was at delivering the prepackaged political theater talking points. But hey, that's something else. I keep coming back to this moment where if you really want to hold the Republican Party accountable and you want to move them to being the party of the working class, again, how about we do something in a bipartisan fashion? Since 73% of people surveyed believe workers should have the right to collectively bargain, how about we force the Republican Party to go, you know what, we're not going to be anti-union anymore. We're going to give workers their rights. The right to join and form unions and to fight for better wages, hours, and conditions. Because if you were really pro-worker, this is what it's about. It's not about this fable that you've been spinning for 30 years that all you have to do is work hard. All you have to do is pull yourself up by your bootstraps. How about we actually talk about what did build the most prosperous working class in history? How about we actually talk about how my grandparents' generation built that? And they did it with smart government, with smart policy and smart investment. They did it with their unions demanding a fair share of the wealth that their labor creates. And they did it with community, people coming together of all different types. And yes, we had problems, and yes, we had struggles, but we were moving forward. And we weren't being torn completely apart. Right now, the alligator jaws of inequality are about ready to snap down on somebody's behind. The haves have more, and the have less. We are in one of the most unequal times in our country's history. This is an opportunity, my right-wing mouthpieces, to actually do something positive other than complain. You guys got the griping down. In fact, when I need a good laugh, I always love to hear people complaining, and I love the conspiracy theories. I love the conspiracy theories. Because I go, you have nothing better to do all day? I can't believe you hold a job. I digress. If you really want to stick it to corporate America, you really want to show them who's in charge, we the people, all of us, you and me and everyone else in this country, we really want to put corporate America in check? Find me the next Teddy Roosevelt. Find me the next trust buster to break up these big conglomerates like Amazon, who has such enormous power that they can spend $200 million in a disorganizing campaign to fight back workers' ability to get those better wages, hours, and conditions, while their founder is saying, we probably should do something about wages, and we probably should do something about conditions, because I hear it's real bad over there. So if you really, truthfully, if you want to be more than just a monkey with a grinder box, you want to be more than just the puppet in the show, actually advocate for doing something. Because all I hear is, during your 3-hour hate, is how much you hate government and how much now you hate corporate America. And no solutions other than, I just want freedom, which I don't know what you're talking about. But at the end of it, I know where you're going to go. I know this is just a little spasm. I know this is just a little temper tantrum, because when the buck hits the road, you're going to fall into line. And the one thing that Limbaugh knew is it's all about the sale. And no, whatever puppet they throw out in front of you to fill the ghost of Limbaugh's seat, he's going to come back to the corporate line and the sale. I often tell the story about the first time I met Alex Jones. And I found, of all of the talkers that I've met over the years, there have been two that I'm not going to say I liked, but that I got along with, and I thought were sincere. Rusty Humphreys was the first one. He was a Limbaugh writer for years, does his own show, I guess, down in Atlanta. And Alex Jones. I had a really lucid 20-minute conversation with Alex Jones. And, we had a good talk, good spirited discussion. The second they put him on stage, he went from zero to crazy in the blink of an eye, because it was a performance, and he understood he had to deliver. Now, I think whatever his problems lately have been, this is going back about 9 years. Whatever that is now, I don't know. But back then, he was an honest guy in an industry where people are just trying to make a living and get to the sale. And I've been saying this for years. Corporate America has bought right-wing talk radio for their own little message machine, and it just happens that it aligns with the Republican Party platform that they then write. Why? Because it all comes back down to the money that flows in to organizations like ALEC, organizations like all of the state policy network think tanks, and all down the line. It's not that difficult. It's all political theater made to make you angry and hate your government and never solve a thing. So it's going to be interesting to see who they put in the chair. It's going to be fun watching. Love to hear your thoughts. You can email me, rick@thericksmithshow.com. Going to take a quick break. When we come back, Sarah Kendzior is going to be here to share some thoughts on the Russia sanctions. Right back after this.
There's nothing more American than workers standing up, and the union gives a voice to win. On the Rick Smith Show.